Okay, I'm working this morning. It's Sunday. Well, heck, it's 11:18 Eastern. It's not that early, is it? I got up early this morning and went to breakfast with Alex, and that was fun. So I had to come home and work. I know you're thinking that ain't work. I know it's too much fun to be work. But this is Jane's house in Florida that I'm working on, and I'm getting to a point to where I'm close. The reframing always annoys me how it shows through. But she has this property on the Swanee River down there, and the river's over here, and it has this little channel that comes back in here, so she gets a little pooled up area there. I guess you could put a boat there or something. But since it's so close to the river, we put it up on these piers. And shoot, I forgot to turn the heater off. Hold on a second. I had to get the rod from God, the my architectural scale, and reach over and hit the button because people say it's annoying, and I'm annoying enough, so I don't want to have other factors annoying people. Anyway, by the way, leave your comments below, and I will check them periodically. And so today, what I'm doing is, it's funny, I got the floor plan turned on in this mode. What I'm doing today is I got to work out the floor trusses because this is one of those situations where you don't want a bunch of plumbing pipes hanging down underneath the structure. So we're going to work it out to where she doesn't have to have that. So I'm going to turn off a lot of stuff here. I'm going to turn off the roof, the walls, I can't turn off the floor. Well, yeah, I can because I can put it in. Well, let's see here. I want to keep the floor plan up. Let's turn off the floor scheme. We'll do that. And then what's this? The decks. Thought I had the decks and the stair. There we go. So what I'm trying to do is come up with a floor framing plan because I'm pretty close. One thing I don't show much is how we do our construction documents. It's a little boring, I get it, but I thought I would share this time how after I do this floor framing plan, I'll set it up on a sheet. So here we have our cover sheet that has the drawing list, and there will be notes and stuff over here. Then I have a site plan here that shows how far the house sits off each property line. This line right here is going to actually be abandoned, and then we're going to have a grinder pump here, and it's going to have a 2-inch line over to the septic tank, which the county there is allowing her to use. So that's that. There's a lot more detail there, and then here's the foundation plan. Now, this is one thing I'm going to verify today, is if I've got these piers laid out in a good place. And then we got our floor plan, which is simple, just one sheet there. And sometimes I'll have details over here. Again, I'm not quite done yet. And then I'll have a sheet of elevations. And again, I got notes to put on. I'll put some heights, from the grade to the bottom of the floor and that kind of stuff on here. But I just thought it might be, if anyone was interested, to see how we do, we set up sheets after we're through actually modeling. But the way I model allows us to show these elevations in perspective, which I like. It gives more depth, and it actually shows more information. Your typical architectural drawing is done And just, where's my, why don't I have, oh, yeah, you see, a typical architectural drawing is just done in a two-dimensional style. You really don't gain as much information as if you um, show it this way. You get the a field of either a field of depth or a field of depth in that perspective. So that's the way I like doing my elevations, and it gives them a little unique character. And like it here is a good example. You can see the depth of this porch because it's in perspective mode. If I turn this into just a parallel line, you see how weird it gets? And, well, if it was in this mode, you would turn it. So I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to mess it up. But it would, you wouldn't see any depth. It would be like this right here, where you didn't see anything behind anything. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but what I do want to do is I'm going to use this floor plan as a guide. I'm going to use Medic's floor truss extension because I don't want to sit here all day and draw floor trusses like I used to back in the old days. And I got to kind of lay out where these are going to go, because what I'm trying to do is create a path for the plumbing to get back here to this back corner. See, there, our grinder pump's going to be in the ground right there. But we got to get plumbing, or it might be closer to the house. I think I was showing it there for just clarity, but it's probably going to actually be closer. But what you'll have is your floor system needs to be, you need to be able to traverse through the floor system. And the best way to do that is with trusses. So what I may do is leave this up to where I can toggle, this on and off, and I'll just get a good idea. So, the other issue here we have are these piers, and this house is up on these piers, the concrete piles, whatever you want to call them. They're not piles because we have a spread footing. A pile would be something that goes deep into the ground. You can see here we're just deep enough to get on stable soil with our footings. A pile would come way down into the ground, based on soil type, the local soil type, and its ability to support that. Anyway, that's another long story, but in this case, I did some research in the area, and a lot of the houses are on spread footings. So we should be fine with our approach. And I'm going to actually specify that the contractor verify this too. I got to have my little loopholes in there. But I think this will work. In any event, you've got these spans between these that have to be taken care of. In other words, you're going to need something to support the floor system between these. So basically, what we would have is a band all the way around this thing that is basically, I'm going to say these spans are, well, the span would be the inside of the beam to the inside of the beam. 19.3. Let's see, what is it from here? I'm trying to figure out how to set this up. I think all these are going to run this way, and then all these are going to run this way. But in any event, I can't create a dam somewhere or a blockage. Like, I can't run a beam across here because the plumbing from this bathroom won't be able to get through, and you'll see this in a minute. So I guess what I want to do, just to get started, sometimes you just gotta do it, man. Just stop talking and do it, man. So I'm gonna just draw myself this box, and then these two boxes, and then I think I'm going to turn the floor plan off for a minute because I kind of get it. I kind of get what I need to do already. So that means we would have, if I simply took, I'm going to assume that we're using double LVLs around the edge. That's what we're going to do. It might be expensive, but that's the best way to take care of this. So that would be 3.5 inches. Well, let's go 1.75. We'll just show both layers. And this one, yeah, we don't need, well, let's see, what do we got going on here? This is different because out here is porch framing. So I haven't quite decided how to take care of that yet, but we're going to handle it in a different way because it's going to be open on the end, and all you're going to have is screening protecting this. So I'm going to treat this almost like a deck out here. So that is one layer, and then we got to come in. I think what I'm going to do is, how are we going to do this? I think for the sake of time, what I may do is just go ahead and show this like this. Come in another 1.75 inches, 1.75. LVLs are 1 3/4 inch thick, and that's handy on a. I think I know how I can do this. That's handy on a 3.5 inch wall. Now see, I've already got this to where these are. This is going to be taller. I don't think we need 24-inch tall floor trusses, but I'm concerned about this. We could probably get by with 18-inch. But I think for now I'm going to leave it at 2 feet, because one of the problems I think we're going to have is when our plumbing from the kitchen tries to go all the way over to here. You know, it'd be nice to have a 1/4 inch per foot fall, and we got 40. So 40 quarters is only what, 5-6 inches. That's not too much, is it? That's not too bad. But you got to get from here to here, then from there to there. So this is going to be lower when this starts going in that direction. It's going to have the fall from here to here that it connects to, and then from there it's going to go. So really what you're doing is you're really kind of measuring this distance from here, that distance. So it's more like 60 feet. That would be 15 inches. Yeah. So you see, by the time you take out all the core, the thicknesses of the top and bottom of the floor trusses, I'm pretty sure we're going to need 24 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry about that being off, needing to be raised up right now. I'll deal with that later. What I'm trying to do is get to where I can just get something done here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to double click or triple click on everything, because I want these LVLs to be independent members. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to triple click, and then I'm going to get rid of that and that and that and that. Oops. I'm going to get rid of all this other stuff. And so that when I create a group out of it, it will become independent of have I got everything? I don't want anything but that outside piece. I'm just double checking here because it's going to be a pain if I have to redo this. Alright, so now I'm going to say make group. Now let's just see what the effects of that are. If I can get it to stay on that axis, so I can just bring it out here. Yeah, see, that's what I wanted. I wanted that band to be by itself. Okay, so I can undo that. Now I can go back and triple click it. No, I gotta bring this down now to here, and now I can get now I can triple click this. And this is going to be easier because now all I have to do is isolate the floor of that part. And yeah, now I can say make group. And now I have an independent. Now I have two independent bands of LVLs. See? Yeah, and I still have this thing I can do layout on. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that because I don't need it. But you can see now, this starts to bring up the issue of whether my piers are in the right spot. See? See. So it works this way. But see, that means that this whole pier, these two bands would. I wonder if I can temporarily lower. I want to raise this up for now, just so that's not going to be a pain in the butt. I want to select both of these. I'm going to make a group out of the whole thing. And this will keep me from getting confused because I still have brain fog from having walking pneumonia. And you see that, where'd that line come from? Oh, that's that floor line. I just triple click to select the whole thing, and now I can delete it. Let's see if we have any comments. Not yet. People are still in bed. Phooey on you. So there we go. But see here. So the only issue I can see as far as the band, this rim, this beam basically that runs around the perimeter, that is going to support the whole, the whole floor around the perimeter, is it might be nice to move these piers to where that we got more bite. But let's just proceed, and then we'll see how it works out. And I'm going to go back and make these look like real LVLs. For now, I just needed the border to work with. Now, there's this thing we can do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a series of trusses all the way from here to here, okay, on both sides. And then we're going to run, and then there will be a girder truss here and here. I think you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. So what I do need is a way to select. I need to be able to select this point over here for my floor truss extension. So I'm going to go to Medique truss, and then I'm going to select floor truss. And Nathaniel Wilkerson makes this extension. He's an awesome guy. He's really good at taking input from users. And I've worked with him on a few things that I had requested, and he literally put them in the extension. So I really appreciate his work on this. He's an engineer, so he has a lot of knowledge. Floor truss, rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Let's see. I think I start here, and then I go here, then I go here. Now we have bearing left, okay, 3.5, 3.5. Yeah. Depth is 24. Chase opening. Okay, so yeah, we'll leave a chase opening in there in case we were able to figure out. I don't know, this is another issue. I was going to put the heat and air in the attic because there's really no way to do a chase opening. But I'm going to leave a chase opening for others, for plumbing or electrical or whatever. Chase location. That should be in the middle. Alright, so we're just going to go, what's this ply thickness? Ribbon cut. No, I don't want ribbon cut. None. Ribbon, I don't want that. That's where we're hanging these joists off of these LVLs, so we don't need this. A ribbon cut is kind of a notch in the top of the truss that allows you to brace it. And anyway, so ply thickness. I don't think that's going to affect anything. So we're going to go here. Truss spacing. Gable end truss, no. Gable stud spacing. Advanced floor. Now we're not going to do advanced floor options right now. I can always change that later. Because I just want to see the floor trusses. And I ran them the wrong way. I knew it. But it's no big deal. I can do it again. Let's see, do I want to undo that? Yeah. So what we meant to do was run them this way. It's funny, I forget which, you saw me hesitating in the first part of this, where the first length is the span. The first, I gotta remember that. The first length you put in is the span. So I think all this is gonna, oh, we gotta redo it. Okay, it's no big deal. 24 is the depth. None. Okay. Okay, too close. Right bearing, truss less than 4/4 span. Choose location, decrease from 1 to 6. Click OK. Okay. Cable and truss, no. Okay. Okay, so the I think this was talking about this chase in the middle. So let's undo that again. And I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about there. Again, no matter how many tries this takes, it's a lot quicker than drawing all these trusses. Bearing left. Let's see. Top chord. Maybe if I change it to top chord, I don't know, but it shouldn't matter. 24 is the depth. Chase opening. Okay, so the chase opening, because these are okay, none. Okay. Chase is located too close to the right bearing. Okay. Alright, so okay, here we go. Let's figure out where, if I knew this, I could put the chase opening. Okay, 11 feet 5. This is user error. This is not the extension's fault. This is me not have used the floor trusses in a while. And we're going to go 24. I'm going to say it's top chord. What I could be doing is just changing the actual, well, my coffee thing's going off. 11 foot 5. Where's my calculator? It should be 5 foot 6. 5 foot 7.5. So where is that? Is this in feet? Yeah. We're gonna say 5.5 feet for now, just for the. I'm gonna say 5.6 feet. And we're gonna say none. Okay. None. And we'll see if that works. No. Okay, here we go. And I'm not going to worry about, because see, this is, that chase is not going to show up on the plan, okay? So I'm not really worried about that. What I'm trying to do is show layout, and I can always go, I don't know why. Okay, so I need to add probably another foot. I didn't realize, I thought it was talking about the center of the chase. It's measuring from here to there. Let's change this. The nice thing about this is you can go in and edit this. So the bearing, that's correct. Top chord is correct. And the chase location should be, so if it's 2 feet, I gotta add a foot to this. 6 foot, let's try that, update. Too close to the right bearing. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask him about this chase thing. I wish I could just do away with the chase opening. If I say 0, what does it do? Okay, maybe we'll just do that. How about that? How about that? So anyway, the point is, really what I'm trying to do is, and I don't know what I did. So what would happen is this would go down in here. If I can get it to go down. Just like that. Okay. It would have hangers. I really, I don't like this. I just want a standard truss. There ought to be a way to just ignore this copper. Let's see if I put bottom. Maybe that'll fix it. Yeah, that fixed it. Thank you. But I don't know why it moved it around. Let's go. And when I get ready to do those others over there, I'm going to be really smart. Oh, now I got to move this down. I forgot it would put one on each end. But again, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to, and what I'll do is after I get this worked out, I will edit these. I will edit it. Now, here's another case for removing this pier right here and all of this whole row of piers, because this is a good example. We're going to have a girder, a girder truss on each end of this opening. See if we have any comments. Yo, hey Richard, just going to get some sleep back. What do you mean? It's only 6 o'clock there. Richard's in the UK. But what I can do, I can use this set of trusses. What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to explode this, and what we will do is create this, then we'll copy it over there. Because these bays should be the same. Because I don't need that truss on each end. Like I'll show you what I'm talking about. The layout would start from, I just want to see if this is the same size. Yeah, good. Okay, so I'm going to delete that one. And now I'm going to, I wonder if I should explode this yet. Maybe not. Something tells me to wait. But what will happen is the layout will start. You got these on 24-inch centers? Yeah. So this is actually going to start like right here. So, because what you do is you'd measure from the outside of your band to the center would be 24. So when you get down here, yeah, you'll just have, well, when I fix this, yeah, you see, when I fix this, this one will get omitted, this one right here. But right now I'm going to leave it the way it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this a component. Because if I copy it, I'm going to call it long floor truss. You don't really have to name it, I just like to do it. Okay, then I'm going to copy it over here. That was weird, I was looking at that weird. Just to give you an idea of what's going to happen. And again, you don't want to start a truss on the end because you want a solid. First of all, these trusses are not load bearing for an end wall condition. Okay, so this would have to be kind of a different kind of truss. Plus you would have to put sheeting over it. If you run these LVLs all the way around, then your wall can sit back here, and your OSB can be flush with that, and you'd save all that OSB all the way around the house. So we're going to omit that truss when we get ready to do this. But I like the way this is working out because I'm going to show you why. So you can see here because I made that a component, when I get ready to edit this side, obviously that one will do. But what I'm going to do right now is leave it so I can edit it. Uh-oh. I guess when I made it a component, I lost the ability to. That's interesting. I can't I thought I would be able to update this one. Ooh, what was that? That was weird. Okay, so when you make if you make one of his, well, we'll experiment. I'll show you in a second. The main thing is right now I gotta get, I gotta move this row of piers right here. And this is why I like doing floor framing, right? Because, floor framing drawing, because this is a big deal. Let's see, where are we going to center? I think what we're going to do is center it, put the center of it, lock this axis, and then I can put it right there. What does that make it from the outside? Because I like to keep this logical. 11 feet. What is it to the center? 11 feet 9. We don't want to have these little. We don't want to have these little 3/8 and a ½ inch, measurements. What we want to do is move that back 3/8. Okay. That may seem funny now, but I'll show you why it's not funny. 3/8. Okay. Because now, if I go and I save this drawing, this is, it's parametric or whatever. Because if I go back to my foundation plan now, I can grab this and update it. Let's see what it says first. Where are those piers? Those piers are right here. You see, that's one I put a label on that one, on these two rows. So when we update it, all that stuff will move together. Update model reference. See, right now, I won't have, I won't show the floor framing on the foundation plan. But in this view, you can see where, uh, they updated, which is good. Uh, but that is the advantage of having a SketchUp Pro with this. The layout is the software that comes with SketchUp Pro that allows you to do these drawing sheets, set up your construction documents. So I'm going to leave that view like that for a minute and just demonstrate how kind of handy that is. So let's go back here and let's get out of this mode, and we'll get, well, I need to go back into that mode, don't I? Yeah, I need to go, what did I make that, 11 feet? Yeah, so I'm going to come over here and put myself a construction line off of that one to here, 11 feet. And move it over. And so now we'll have a nice, now we've got a nice ledge for our LVLs to sit on. I still am thinking about this one. I still don't like the bearing this one. I still don't like the bearing this one has right here. And since these are, I don't want to create a situation, you don't want to create confusion on the construction site, but this LVL right here, if you got to plan for it, you got to plan for it in case they do it like that, right? So if they do it like that instead of like this, that LVL will not be sitting on anything. Oops. Okay, so what I may do is try to get by with showing this row. See, I like these being all lined up because it's going to create confusion if I don't. What would be the answer? What would be the answer? I feel like I need at least 3 inches of bearing from here to there. I'd like to have 3 inches of bearing in case they do stop this LVL right here. And see, that means that one would not be sitting on anything. See? So you might think this is kind of anal, but it's not really. It's I wonder, let's just look at the effects of, let's see, what is the measurement from here? I just don't know if I can get them to do it, 9 feet 4. If I can get them to do this where even if I got 2 inches, but see, I had to move this whole row. Let's get us a reference point here. Let's go 3 inches. See, now you might think, well, that looks funny. Well, it's not gonna. You're not gonna see this, and as a matter of fact, it would give you something to, if you wanted to support the porch in some way. So I might even move it a little more. We're getting to 9 feet 7, and 8 feet 5. You see, the concrete contractor or whoever does the foundation is going to say, why are those offset? Let's just see what it looks like if I update this. If I save this drawing, what I need to do is fix this where if I go to my foundation plan, that I turn off the oh, I know what I gotta do. If I go back, to here, oh, go back to here, go back to here. I gotta put all this stuff in. This should already be in the floor trusses. Oh, I know what's going on here. Now. When you create these folders, everything doesn't automatically get put into them. So you have to put you have to fix it. Floor framing. Okay, see now when we look at our foundation plan, and let's get rid of these guidelines, and then we save this. When we go back now and we update our drawing, update model reference, you see I turned off the floor framing. And let's look at the dimensions now, because the dimensions will update too. And really, it's not that bad. I mean, they're kind of weird where you got 8 feet, 8'3", 8'5", 8'8". I've got this span longer here because she wants to be able to pull in between here. But what we could do is we could even this out by, I don't know, it may be more obvious if you just leave it where there's these nice even measurements, 8 foot, 8'3", instead of making this 8 foot 1.5, 8 foot 1.5, 8 foot 5, that kind of thing. But how can I make these more even? If I moved it 1 inch, these would be the same. These two would be the same. So you see the little game you try to play with your contractors. Let's see. Let me go back. And I am a general contractor, so I can say this, okay? So this row right here, 1, 2, 3. That's all grouped, so I got to dive down into the group, and so I'll have to fix my footings. If I just move this over 1 more inch, that will make the dimensions a lot easier to follow. Save. Go back, and I'll have to fix my footings and those little, let's see, update model reference. And this is one thing cool about, SketchUp and layout here, this program layout that comes with SketchUp Pro. If you do your dimensions correctly and you snap it to the actual corner of that object, the dimensions will update with it. So see, now I've got 8 foot, 8'4", 8'4", 8'8". I think that makes sense. I really do. And so this will update itself. I really don't have to do anything. Once I set this sheet up and I dimension everything, I don't have to change that. I just have to change this stuff. And I think what I'm going to do is just put this on perspective mode because it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. And then what we'll do is turn our floor framing back on. But let's turn off our two-dimensional floor plan. That. Okay, we'll leave all that on. Okay. And I'm going to create just a temporary scene called floor framing, so that I don't have to keep turning things on and off. So I'm going to come down here and add one called floor framing. And I'm just going to kind of get it in a normal view, and then I'm going to update it. That way, let's say I want to look at the whole house. You know, that's my working view of the house, and now I can just go back to where I want to work on this. So I'm trying to think of any other reason why I don't want to work with that, but I think the main thing is this video is about the floor framing, so let's do that. Okay, so now what we need is trusses going this way. Okay, because we want to really the longest, this is the span that my 24 inches is based on. If I only had this span, I could probably get by with an 18-inch floor truss or even a 16-inch floor truss. But in any event, I want to use floor trusses, and I'll show you why in a minute. If you used like wood eye joists that are solid, you would be drilling holes through each one of them to get this plumbing from here and then get that plumbing to there, over there. And as a matter of fact, we're going to look at the layout here in a minute and see, after we get these in here, to see if there's anything we need to do to fix, to make it better because of where the plumbing fixtures are. And this is something most designers have no clue or they don't bother with, is making sure your toilets aren't sitting over your floor trusses. Alright, so one thing I learned earlier was that I need to go the length of the span first. Okay, so I need to start here and go here and then go over into here like that. And we want it to be 24. And that's correct. What is the span? We're going to say chase opening is 0 again. I'm not really concerned about the actual design of the trusses, because what I'll do is I'll send this floor framing plan to the truss manufacturer, and they will actually design the trusses. We're not trying to design the webbing and all that. We're just trying to get the layout worked out. And we got none, okay. And spacing, cable interest, no, okay. There we go. So that worked out better. I just have to drop them into place. Now, one thing that's going to be cool about this is that I think he does create each individual truss. Well, these trusses are components. So what I'm going to do is go in and I'll put a hanger on each of them. A top mounted hanger. The hanger will come like this. See if we can find one. Top, let's see. Let's try floor truss hanger. Dang it. I'll have to go, let's see, products. TGI floor and foundation hangers. Might be able to rig one with this. I might be able to, yeah. What I can do is I'll be able to take something like this out of a drawing, but you can see how they are. I'm trying to point on it, and I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, you see, they're like a big joist hanger, but they have, and the ones I use have a better top mount system on them. Has a more like a plate up here. I don't like these little boogers. The ones I use are actually hangers. You see here, they've got this actually. No, they don't. Okay, so that's like a joist hanger. But the ones I like are more like a hanger. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll take one of those and put it on each one later. Now, how this is going to work is it's almost going to work like this, where, and I think I'm ready to explode this, and yeah, I'm going to explode this, and now I can move. What you'll have is, and the truss manufacturer can work this out, but what I normally do is I'll show two hangers, or two trusses, sorry, as a wait a minute, yeah, two trusses as a girder. Okay, so what that means is that I should have copied that, shouldn't I? And then I can work out the spans. I can work out the layout here in a second. What that means is that these trusses right here will have a hanger that hangs them off of this girder truss right here. And typically what I've seen them do in the past is there'll be a special web pattern, and they'll be beefed up somehow, but they'll typically double that. And I'll send them this drawing because there is a bearing point right here if they want to use it. But we don't want to put an LVL down through here. You see, the whole point of having the truss system is picking out a straight shot on your plumbing from here to there. Now the webs may not be exactly the same, these cords, the bracing, but there is going to be an opportunity somewhere because we're going to work it out. So let's see what this spacing, it looks like I need to move it. I need to move this way. So let's just see if we say, if the floor was going to start over from here, 24, and that was the center. Let's move all these down. I think I can work it out to where really it doesn't have to be the center, because it could be the edge. And the reason I'm saying that is because this one looks like it might get a little bit too far off. There we go, 24. Can you believe it? Oh, awesome. So that makes sense. That's logical. And so you'll have hangers here on this end, and now we have a path. Awesome, awesome. Now, as far as the layout of these, what we're going to do right now is, let's see if we have any comments. Jennifer White, why you lengthen the trusses? Overthinking the problem. Uh-oh, Jennifer. Stop overthinking it. Okay, so Jennifer White, what is your problem? What is your problem? You have to, how do you over lengthen a truss? How do you over lengthen a truss? The truss has to go from this beam to this LVL, series of LVLs, to this here. And there will be a hanger on each end. So how can I over lengthen the truss? Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Don't be acting weird on me. Did she leave? There's Warsaw. Overthinking the problem. You can't, at this stage, before you even start, it's hard to overthink a project, okay? When you're standing there building it, you can overthink it because you can waste time. But now is the time to overthink it, right now. When I'm sitting here on Sunday and I got nothing else to do except go on Twitter and act like an idiot, this is the day to overthink it, okay? I don't know. I have no clue what you're talking about, but I'm getting ready. If you think that's anal, you're getting ready to, your head's getting ready to explode because I'm going to turn on the floor plan and I'm going to show you why you should overthink this, Miss Press. Okay, so now what we're going to do is move the, I don't know, I kind of like where the floor plan is. I raised this floor system up so I could get it on top of the piers down my floor. But I like it because it shows me where my toilet is, okay? So what you don't want to do is you don't want your toilet to sit on top of a truss. So we're good there. And where's my other turlet? My other turlet is good because it's a mirror image. So we're good. So I think we're awesome. The only thing we could have done is if we want to create a perfect situation, we have a span here that's really close. So what we could do is come in here and actually, I think Jennifer's having a bad day or something because I think if she and now you can see since I made this a component, I'm also gonna fix that one. But we're gonna take the responsibility of the plumber right out of this because we're gonna put this right where it should be. And I think I'm gonna look and see what my dimension is. So I moved it 6 5/8. If you look down in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see distance 6 5/8. But what makes more sense? 6 inches. Okay. Now there's hardly any way the plumber can drill a hole, make the mistake of drilling a hole in my. And what that did was it also evened out. I can get rid of this floor truss. What it also did was even out the spacing on each end. You see? And now our two turlets, we say turlet in Tennessee, is more in the middle. And all you gotta do on my floor framing plan, we will give an offset distance. We will give the first dimension for the layout right there. Okay? And carpet. Now, one thing I just noticed is this truss is probably not. This truss right here that's wrong. I realize what we're doing now is that it had put in an extra truss because it was close to the end. So now we gotta think about maybe what I should have done was just left it. I don't know. I don't want to overthink it too much because Jennifer might get mad. But we'll show one there, and I'm trying to think if we can even this out a little better. But that'll get enough trusses. What you don't want to do is not show enough trusses so that when the truss manufacturer makes them, that they're short ones. So as long as we get these trusses laid out to where the toilet is good, the toilets are good. Because all these other things can be worked out. You see, if you put your plumbing for the tub over here, you're good. And the sink plumbing is not critical because you can move it over laterally in the wall. And that applies the same. Over here, your washer and dryer is good. Your drains can come down through this wall, through the trusses. Let's see what Jennifer has anything to say for herself. Stop. On the other side, would it be easier to run the truss? No. Well, it would be easier, but it would be a longer span. I thought I checked that out. Let's see. Let's see if you're right. So that way is 16 foot 10, and this way is, well, Jennifer, you are correct. I think what threw me off a little bit was I knew I was going to have this girder truss here because I can't run them all the way. Like these trusses can't run all the way, but we can have an eruption. Would it be easier to run the trusses? Yes. You're correct. Yes, you're correct. I think my initial, but again, this is why I overthink this stuff. My original idea was obviously just to use the floor trusses so that we could get plumbing through them. But I know what it was. I didn't want to put LVLs here to block it off. So I said, okay, I'll put girder trusses here. And that made me think I would run them in this direction. I would just run all these in the same direction. But as you pointed out, we don't have to. I can run them this way. Let's turn off the floor plan for a second. And we can actually eliminate that girder, that pier right there. We can really confuse the concrete contractor if we want to. So let's try that. Let's see what it looks like now. And will we be able to? Yeah, and this is the case where we probably want to go ahead and even out the span. This difference from here to here, and still make it work out because now I want these trusses to line up with each other. But I will give credit where credit is due. Jennifer has a good idea. But I don't think we're overthinking it. You can't overthink at this point. You just can't. I'm sorry. Floor trusses. Okay. Go here. And we're going. Let's see. The span. That's right. I need to go. I feel like I need to turn it this way. Because this is the way that I think the extension wants me to do it. Start here, go here, and then go here. Then we've got 24 inch. Yeah, this is going to work a lot better. We don't want that. We don't want that. Oh, I meant to say. Oh, come on, let me go back. I can't go back. Okay, what I want to do is get rid of this because it's irrelevant. I want to get rid of this chase opening. Yeah, and I'm not really concerned about the exact because they're not going to do that. They'll have a consistent web, going across. They will have, periodic verticals there, but I'm not really concerned about that. I'm not trying to design the actual trusses. I'm trying to locate them and make allowances for them. Now let's try to get our layout right. We're not that far off, but so what I can do, I'm going to explode it, and I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to line these up. Because I don't need that first one. And then I'm going to see if I can actually even them all out to make them more logical. I hope you're laughing because I want to have fun. I don't like this. I don't like it when people get mad at each other. I like it when we're all having fun. That's what it's all about. Now the idea would be to get this truss really kind of away because I don't like how close it is to it seems like a waist. But the problem I'm having is that I can select all these now. I really don't want to move my toilet because this wall lines up. No, it doesn't. This wall doesn't line up with that wall, does it? Well, in any event, I don't really want to move this because she's happy with these bedroom sizes and this dining room size. So all I really want to do is just get this to where this will work. If I moved it another 4 inches, now this may be. I may have to admit this may be overthinking it a little bit. the point I'm trying to get the contractor to do is to think on every project I build, because I'm a design build contractor. I'm there when we're framing, and my framer knows to ask me his first question when, because I've been using we've been working together for 15 years, really more like 17. He knows the first question to ask me is what this dimension is right here. What is the first layout? Where's the first joist go? Okay, so using some kind of logical number, I would say 12 inches. Paco, make it 12. And he would know exactly what I was talking about. Especially, well, if you're using any kind of framing system, whether it's joist or regular dimension lumber or whatever it is, because the plumbers are just going to take a chainsaw to your floor joist, and then they're going to say, "Okay, sirrah, dude, you put the floor joist in the wrong place." So it's not really their fault. It's the whoever planned it. So why is that not lining up? Why is that not lining up? What did I do? Why is that? Oh, I didn't select the whole thing. Something's weird. I know one thing. We need to make this a group. We need to make this a group, so I don't have to keep selecting them. Let's make it a group, and I think what I need to do is line this up like that. Now, what was going on down here? I think this was just off. Yeah. Why is that? Yeah, that is correct. For some reason, this one got off. So, okay, there we go. Pretty happy with all that. Now, if we turn off our two-dimensional floor plan, now this girder, now it gets more important that these piers, I don't know, I don't think they're going to use they may use it as a load bearing point. Well, yeah, they'll use this one and they'll use that one, but there's no need for this one. We can actually delete that one. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't see any need for that one. They're probably going to cost several $1,000s a piece by the time it's over with, and you don't need that. Need that one. What do you think, Jennifer? The truss company would have a structural way to work it out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not worried about the actual design of the trusses. I'm just trying to show the configuration. And really what I'm trying to do is show the concept to the contractor that you need to have a path from here to the kitchen to down here, because you don't want all this plumbing hanging down below your floor system. When you're done, when you're done with all your electrical, plumbing, whatever, because the HVAC is going in the attic, you want to be able to come and put some kind of soffit material down here. What's popular now is just vinyl soffit material. So that would be something you could actually take down easy to access between the trusses. But you don't want all that junk hanging down below the floor system. So we'll create these chases through. And what's funny is if these, I know these webs aren't correct on these trusses, but just for the fun of it, yeah, so you would have a way, you'd have a path to get from here down to the kitchen, and then down between one of these trusses down here, and then literally come over, and you got plenty of fall. You only need about 16 inches of fall, and between the trusses you should have about 21 inches between them. That's why, yeah, 21 inches. Jennifer, I forgot what you do because you seem pretty knowledgeable. I know a Jennifer. She actually works at East Chattanooga Lumber Company, and she handles the doors and windows. As a matter of fact, on Monday we're going to pick up an order that we had ordered from them. So let's see how this. We'll see what our foundation plan is looking like now. Pretty snazzy. One thing I need to do is go in here and select this footing. And how wide are these? These are pretty wide. 32. Let me draw myself a temporary line across here. Then I can move this over to the center of that and delete that. What else did I move? Is that the only row I moved? Yeah. Now you may ask, why are these these footings going all the way across? I'm doing this because I'm trying to make more like a raft foundation, because even though a lot of these houses down there are on these spread footings in Florida, I don't really trust the soil down there, so I like how I've got these footings going all the way across. It creates more of an overall, conglomerate of of a foundation. If you don't do this, I think you do have to turn these into piles, and they have to go deep into the ground. So, and then I had this little situation where these are little. What's that? These are little knee walls that are just going to hold back the grade, because she wants to be able to. I didn't mean to select that face. I meant to do that. Because she wants to be able to store things here and put gravel, kind of almost like create a, graveled area for storage. Go there, go there. Huh. That's not right. That didn't get cut out earlier. I didn't lose my inside. No, okay, good. Just want to make sure when I deleted that line I didn't lose anything. So that fixes that. And so the way this grade works is, because I got the topo from the surveyor, which was a really good topo. I usually don't get this good a topo, so I created this mesh to overlay it, and that gave me an idea of how tall that wall needed to be. I'm not showing the grade change, but basically you'll have a little dugout area here with a little driveway coming into it, and there'll be gravel in here, but that way she can level all this out, and you can see how the grade changes as you go around. And I just wanted to make the wall tall enough to where at the highest point, probably could have made it another 4 inches taller, but we'll see. There's no way to show it exactly how tall it needs to be at this point. It's just one of those things the contractor has to work out when he's on the job. But we had these grade lines running right through here that the surveyor created, so I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about the footings. Did I lose you, Jennifer? I was asking Jennifer what she did for a living, because she seems to have knowledge. So let's go back to our floor framing. Now what we would do is actually I need to create a floor framing plan. So that wasn't a temporary thing. I need to perfect this. So I need to go to scenes. I want to go ahead and call that plan. And it will be before floor plan. I don't guess it really. Oh, well, I thought I was moving it. I guess I wasn't. I'm gonna move it here. Just put it back here somewhere, more logical. Now what I need to do is show a top-down view, and I don't want to show a parallel projection view. And here I'm not sure I want to show. I think the only thing I want to show here is just the piers. So I think I can turn off the footings. Yeah, this is really all I want to show. I really don't want to show that bottom part because it's misleading. It makes it seem like that's a bearing point, and it's not. So I'm going to update this, and then I'm going to put it back in the mode that doesn't freak me out too much. And I'm going to put these, I'm going to create a layer for these. Back in the old days, we called them layers. SketchUp thought they were getting fancy and decided to call them tags. So what I want to do is, what happened to my piers? What layer are these in? What is the entity info? That is untagged. How can that be untagged? Oh, that means that. Really? How can that be untagged but be getting turned off? Well, anyway, we're going to create a layer. I'll fix that tag situation in a minute. We're going to create a tag for. We usually use FND for a prefix, and then let's just call it stem wall. That's easy enough. Doesn't matter as long as I know what it's for. And we will put it there. Foundation, stem wall. And now when I go to my floor framing plan, I can turn that off. And that won't create any confusion because I want the truss manufacturer to know that he's got to hang these trusses from those LVLs. And that will be a clear indication. He will also know that he has this bearing point at the midpoint of for this girder truss, so that if he wants to put a bearing point there, he can. And I'm still not too happy. Let's update this. Update. Still not completely happy with this situation here. Perspective. I really wish, I want to have well, I'm not going to worry about it because you're not going to see it. You're not going to see that offset because of the deck, and I'm just not going to worry about it. As a matter of fact, we may end up actually having to put another pier out here for the deck. I guess Jennifer left me. I made her mad. Anyway, what can we do? We've got a span here of 16 feet. That's really, that's kind of stretching it. You could use 2x12s at 16 inches on center. But one of the issues we're going to run into is here when we turn on this. Let me turn on the floor plan for a second. There's going to be joists running this way for the deck, the porch. So they're going to want to hang off of this something here, a beam coming across here. And I really don't like running the joist. Let's see what we could get out of and this really isn't for decks per se, but we'll see. Joist and rafter span tables. I like this website. It has a good set of tables. Floor joist. We're going to say, let's see what 50 pounds. Let's see what 40-20 looks like. If we were wanting to go 16 feet, yeah. Oh man. You'd have to go 12 inches on center. That's what I was afraid of. The reason I want to use dimension lumber is because I want to use treated lumber there. I don't think it's going to be watertight enough to, like the screening is not going to keep the wind from blowing. Let's go to 40-10. Let's see what you can do. 16 feet. You can go. See, you can do it with 2x12s at 16 inches on center with the 40-10 loading. But I know in some municipalities they enforce stricter loading on decks than even your interior living area, because they're assuming that you might have 20 people on your deck, but you're not going to have 20 people in your bedroom. I mean, you might, but that's a personal issue. But you might actually end up having. So what we need to do is probably research this a little bit, but it would be nice if we could run them all the way across and not have to worry about it too much. So if we just show, I hate to show them at 12 inches on center, but I do want to use some kind of this actually shows but I think I'll go ahead and do that, because either way, even if they used 2x10s at 12 inches on center, then it would do it. It would work at 40-10. Let's see, what was it? 40-20 again. 40-20. You really can't get there except by using, and you got to use this number 2 spot here, this column, because number 2 is your framing lumber. That's the grade we use, and it's just what you buy when you go to Home Depot. It's considered number 2. So you can't cheat and use one of these number 1 slots, and we wouldn't want to use number 3 because it would be awful. So this is the column. We can't really get there with 2x12s unless we go at 12 inches on center. So I think what I'm going to do is just show, and you can actually get treated LVLs. So it may be that we use an LVL across here, but I'm going to show 2 here. So let's turn this off. I'm going to show trying to do this little trick that I did. Well, let's draw a band first. We're going to come down 11 and 11.25. We're going to show a 2 by 12 here as a band. And then I'm just going to talk to her about this. And 1.5. And this is going to go back 3.5 because I want my LVL coming all the way across here. And we'll have to use some kind of hanger. I'm still thinking about putting this pier out here. Because if I did that, I wouldn't have to. I think I'm going to do that. Because if I did that, I wouldn't have to double this out here. And I'm not really adding anything because I had already taken away one. I didn't mean to do that. Like that. The only problem is it's going to be shorter, but we can block it up. We can work that part out. So I want to make this a group. Triple click group. And then I'm going to put one back here. Well, this will be the last joist. This one will just be another joist. Get up there. Like that. And these will actually be dropped. Let's see. I'm going to figure out the elevation of these right quick. But it should be good because the corners. Yeah, it should be fine. And we're going to put. Let's run these joists out. Well, let's do it from here. So what we'll have now is 2 LVLs. That will be 11 7/8 by 1.75. And I knew that was going to be backwards. 1.75 by 11 7/8. There we go. Because these LVLs are 11 7/8. They don't match up to. They do have a 9. Well, that's a 9.5 inch LVL. If you're using 2 by 10s, they've got one that kind of matches, but make group, and then we're going to run this there. That's going to be a double, and yeah, and then what we'll have to do is build. If that turns out to be, well, I gotta rethink this. So right now, what I'm going to do is take this. I'm going to make myself a layout from here. 16. And we'll come back here and we'll grab the center of this. And then we'll go 16 times. Well, I was going to go 12, wasn't I? Almost forgot. I think either way, we're going to have to go 12. I know that doesn't sound too much like fun, but unless you're going to put more piers and more girders, and I think we're just kind of stuck with that. If you want to use one joist to go all the way across, I think that's what you're going to have to do. Unless you want your floor to be bouncy. Times 19, I'm guessing. Well, I got close, didn't I? Got close. Give it that one. Yeah. So that's going to be strong enough. Now what you could do is, well, you'll have a joist hanger. You would have joist hangers on each. This this band here, this rim joist, would be bolted to the LVL. Well, you'd have flashing. Well, you'd have your wall would be sitting on top of these LVLs, and you'd have flashing come down below this, because this is all open to the weather. This deck is. And so you'd have flashing on both walls, and then you'd bolt your rim joist to it. You'd have typically two in between every other. Well, this is on 12-inch centers, so you could probably go, yeah, there. Yeah, you just go every other one, lagging that to those LVLs. And now I'm just about thinking we don't need this. I don't think we need this, because I'm using. They make these treated LVLs. I don't know if you know that or not. Let's see if I got any comments. Jennifer left and left me here all by myself. So delete guys. So yeah. Oh, what I was saying is they make treated LVLs for this situation where you have these long spans, and of course this is just a deck, and this really is non-load bearing, except that it has the weight of a wall on it, because if you look at you see this is a truss. This is a scissor truss up here, and there's no load on this right here except for the screened, whatever the screening is going to be here. I thought I had done that already, but I need to do it, so we'll do that in a minute. But right now I'm going to go back to this floor framing plan. Boom. Now, well, let's leave it like that, and then we'll go check out our floor framing on our. Let's save this, and then we'll go back to our here, and we'll go to our. Oh, this is our. Okay, so let's see. We haven't. I don't think we made any changes to this, except that. For some reason, okay, I was going to say, Jesus, what happened to my dimension? When those turn red like that, it means they're disassociated with the model, and you got to somehow try to go reconnect them. But it's fine. I just updated it again, and it worked out. So that is. Okay, I got to put the floor framing for the deck in. That's what that is. So I got to go select all this stuff. Not that, and that, and I need to put this. I'm going to put it in a group. Then I'm going to call that group. I'm going to put it in floor framing. So now when I go to my foundation plan, it's gone. And then when I go to my floor framing plan, it will be there. And then when I go here, see what I can do is I can copy this sheet. Let's see, foundation. Yeah, it would come right after this. So I can say duplicate. Then I'll have to renumber these. I can make this A3 floor framing plan. And I want to go, what was that all about? Oh, I got to turn that off in that. So we go here. Should be able to update this and that go away. And it didn't. Did I save this? Yeah. There we go. And I can go to this one and I can get rid of all this stuff. Call this make our little line longer. And we're going to make this A3. And we'll make this A4. And make this A5. Okay, now I'm going to bring in, this will show you how we do the references. Insert. And it will come in on the current view. And I'm just going to kind of get it roughly centered now. And we want to go to our SketchUp model and make it a hybrid instead of raster. That darkens the lines. And then we want to select the scale, make sure it's 1/4 inch per foot. I thought it looked big. Is that correct, Bob? Scale, 1/4 inch, yep. And then we can kind of get it more situated. Let's see, we don't want this, yeah. We want, when you're moving this box around, it's basically the viewport. I like to make it nice and compact. But if you change it without having the scale preserved, it'll change the scale on you. That's why I kind of go back and forth. What I do is I kind of put this over here in case I want to put details over here. So then this is where the dimensions come into play, or where that offset comes into play. I'll dimension it from here to there. I'll give a little offset. And then what I'll do is I'll show the overall 40 feet. And then what you do is just do an arrow here. And you say 24 inch deep. And I'll have a note that explains that that's to be verified. Deep floor trusses at 24 inches. If I can type today, on center. Okay. Oops, didn't mean to hit the enter. And then you can draw yourself another. Can I get lucky? I'll have to move it. Hit the space bar and click away, and you'll get yourself an arrow going. So this is how we do our floor plans. We don't dimension every bay. All I do is I'll dimension the offset on the. Basically, you could, if you wanted to do it, this way, you could put one on each end. But you see, it's not proper because you're trying to give the layout the starting, where the layout starts. And I'm starting from this corner to that first edge is 12 inches. And so then I'll go through and I'll do the same thing here and here, and we'll start to, and here what we'll do is we'll dimension these. What we'll do is we'll put a dimension here. Let's see, give it some space, and this way, this will show the lengths of the trusses. This will show the thickness of the girder. This will show that span. And again, what you're trying to do is just give the truss company the information it needs. And I like how these are all nice and neat numbers, no weird stuff going on, no 15 feet, 13/16. That looks good. And then you're really not in architecture, you're really not supposed to repeat dimensions, because you can, what the idea there is that if it changes, back in the old days when you had to dimension things manually, the concept was not to dimension. So I wouldn't put this dimension here and then put it over here too, because you really only want to show it once in case it had to be updated. That's back in the old days whenever it was done by hand. But and I might want to just tighten these dimensions up a little bit, a little loose. Put this at a comfortable distance, and then move this in a little bit. We don't need to take up that much room with the dimensions, especially since that's really all we're trying to show here. These could be tightened up too. I'll do that later. I'll put my span across here, here, here. I'll put notes on, I'll go around and I'll check out and see if I need any details. I'll have a detail for joist hangers and lag bolt placement. All that stuff will go over here. And then I can also show my thickness of my LVLs there. And this is kind of this is not really a duplication, because this dimension is different up here. These are two LVLs, and back here you had a girder, so you got a difference. So you're not really duplicating dimensions here. So it's not a waste. Did I dimension that right? Yeah. Or it's not a duplication, which is really what you're trying to avoid. You're trying to avoid an area where the dimension may change and you've dimensioned it in two different places, and you didn't change. You changed it in one place but not the other. That's the general concept of that. But again, I get a little anal on symmetry sometimes, so it makes me want to put this overall dimension. It is kind of convenient for the contractor to have, 40, 40, 40, 40. It's obviously a square now, overall. And see, I can copy this. I can make this and this a group. And then I can I said copy, goobers. Why is that not copying? Oh, you know what? I'm not holding the shift key down long enough. I forgot, when you get into layout, things act differently a little. Oh, I see what's going on. You know what I can do? I can go in here and explode these, and they won't do that. I'm pretty sure. What it was doing, you can see that's how the sort of BIM aspect worked, is that I had assigned that point to that point there. So even though I was copying that one down here, this arrow wanted to stay pointed right there. So I don't know. This has been a long live stream, but let's see if we have any other questions. Uh, I've got a lot more work to do on this, so it'll take a while. But I just wanted to kind of share what I had, what I was going to do today. And that was work on this floor framing system. And so I'm pretty happy with this overall. I'll probably do a little more research on these joists. I may call their building, inspection department tomorrow down there in Florida and see what they say about the loading on these joists for this deck. But other than that, I'm happy. What I was really trying to avoid was having two. I was trying to have a pier here and then here, and having a different height, and then running a girder down the middle, and then having joists come to that girder. That's what I was trying to do. I'm trying to keep this simple. And see, all that stuff right there, those extra piers and girder, is more expensive than paying for 2x12s at 12 inches on center. So you kind of gotta, look at it both ways and see what's more expensive. Usually keeping it simple is the least expensive option, but you just have to make sure you have your joist sized properly to do that. So anyway, I appreciate your watching, and I always try to make these live streams short and succinct, but sometimes they don't work out that way. But again, if you need help with your project like this is one of my customers at atdrafting.com. You can contact me. I left the contact information in the description, and we can work something out so that I can give you some help. And thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys watching.